Hi guys, welcome to my home and welcome to my episode of Mark Levinson Reveals. Today I'm going to be showing you the inspiration behind my home and highlighting a few of my favorite pieces inspired by my travels. So, come on in. My three biggest passions are travel, food, and culture, and I really wanted to incorporate those three elements into my home. So when someone walked into the door, it feels like an escape. It doesn't feel like you're in Los Angeles. It feels almost like a vacation home or a getaway. I wanted to, incorporate some of my favorite places that really resonate with me, whether a beach in Tulum or a desert riad in Morocco or an Italian villa in Tuscany. I wanted to take you to different places within my home. So I have a lot of different themes going on, but I wanted to highlight some of my favorite pieces that are really special to me. So I bought this house with my sister, and I wanted to show you some of our very special pieces that mean a lot to us. And I'm actually standing right next to the first piece. My sister and I are Middle Eastern, and we knew that we wanted a Middle Eastern influence in our home. So this painting is a little bit nostalgic because it reminds us of our time growing up in Israel and our childhood being with our family on the beach in the desert. So I really love this painting. We had someone very close to us make it for us. I'm very proud of this piece, and it's definitely something that's very special to both of us. And I love that it's right when you walk in the front door, it's the first thing you see. So very special. One of my favorite trips ever was my trip to Africa, and I think it was because I felt the most connected to nature there. My senses were heightened. I heard everything, the animals, the sounds of the wind and nature and the plants, and it was just really beautiful. It was almost like a spiritual experience for me. So I knew that I wanted to have African influence in my house as well, which is why the piece behind me is probably my favorite piece in my entire house. This is a clay beaded chandelier all the way from South Africa. This piece we're very proud of. It's by a company called Handsmade Story. I found this company and I love the message of this brand. They employ impoverished and underprivileged women who are, a lot of them are infected by HIV, or they're affected by poverty, domestic violence, starvation, and they employ only women to create and make the beads and make these beautiful accent pieces. So we knew we wanted it to have earth tone colors just to kind of symbolize nature and earth. And this we designed from beginning to end with them, and they sent it all the way from South Africa, and we were so happy with it because this is our main statement piece in our dining room, and I really love the brand's message, and I'm so honored to have a piece of theirs in my home. Another accent piece from Africa. These are made in Zimbabwe. But the reason why Africa is so special to me is because I was a World Arts and Cultures and Dance major at UCLA, so I studied a lot about different tribes in Africa, specifically the Maasai tribe. And when I went to Africa, I visited their tribes and their villages and saw how they lived. So I knew I definitely wanted a lot of African influence and accent pieces in my home. So these are very special, all the way from Zimbabwe. Moving on to one of my favorite parts of any home, the kitchen. Hosting and entertaining was a big part of our thought process when my sister and I were creating the theme and the layout for our home. We knew we were always going to have family and friends and company over all the time, so we wanted to have very nice gathering spots for everybody, and we didn't want to just invite people over for dinner or for to eat. We really wanted to give them an experience, and I was really inspired by this last year when I went to the Mark Levinson dinner, and my mind and my senses were blown away by how much thought was put into every small detail, with the lighting and the audio and the sounds and just the taste and the presentations of the food. I really walked away being like, wow, that wasn't just a dinner, that was an experience. And so that's what I want people to feel when they come to my home. Speaking of food and entertaining, I think it's time for a cocktail. All this talk about being a good host, I can't not offer my cameraman a drink. Here you go. Cheers. While we're in the kitchen, I wanted to also show you this piece that's very special. This is a mortar and pestle that I got from Tunisia. And I was walking around the outside souk there, and I found this guy, and he was chiseling and carving out these beautiful designs on the mortar. And so he custom designed this for me, and I just stood there watching him. And my name is also carved on the bottom too, which makes it very personalized. Another big entertaining spot in our house, our den. And I love the couch in here. As you can see, it's massive. We got it sent all the way from Spain. It took 4 months. I've spent a lot of time in Spain and I really love the vibe and the architecture there. So I wanted a piece from Spain, and this is from a company called Zoco Home. And this is a piece of my house where everyone walks in and they love because it's so comfortable and so big. So you can literally fit 15 people on this couch, and this is the room where we watch movies, we gather around, we listen to music, and it's one of our main entertainment spots in the house. Bringing you to another favorite part of my home, up the stairs, and these stairs actually used to be all Spanish tile, and my sister and I swapped it out for Moroccan tile. So we love that Middle Eastern influence, and I'm about to bring you to another Moroccan inspired place. Follow me. This is our Moroccan inspired patio. We are absolutely obsessed with Moroccan decor, culture, architecture. It is definitely not finished yet. It's a work in progress, but it's still a nice place to have a cup of coffee or a Moroccan mint tea. This is my studio and my office space, but I also use it for meditation and also dancing, stretch in the mornings. I lay my yoga mat out here and I open all the doors and I hear the sounds of nature and the birds, and it has a beautiful lookout onto my pool. So this is a great space for me just to move around, and yeah, it's very spacious. So I do all my workouts here, all my dancing here. I roll up the carpet and it's just like a beautiful dance studio for me. I'm also a nerd because this is where I keep my rock collection. I collect rocks and crystals from around the world, and they're supposed to have healing energy properties to them. So I like to keep them in this room where I stretch and I meditate. A lot of these rocks are from Croatia and all over the world. So they're really beautiful, and I'm very proud of my rock collection. Welcome to my backyard. This is a place that is inspired by the Mediterranean. I wanted it to feel like you could be at an Italian villa, you know, in Tuscany or on the Amalfi Coast. So this is one of my favorite parts of my home because Italy is my absolute #1 favorite country in the world. So my backyard really takes me there. That wraps up my episode of Mark Levinson Reveals. They really have inspired me to transform how I interact with the world, and I brought that influence into my home. So I hope you've enjoyed me sharing some of my very special pieces that have been inspired by different cultures and by my travels. And make sure to follow along Mark Levinson to be up to date with all their great videos every week. Cheers!